Hi guys. I made a video a few weeks ago about things that are kind of crazy, and I used repeatedly an English expression in that video, which Kuni Maria informed me doesn't translate well into Afrikaans. It kind of creates the opposite impression. So I'm redoing the video, and hopefully I can find the right words to express what I'm trying to say. It was just a video musing on things that are crazy, things that are not right, things that are wrong. And I'll give you two classic examples. During the lockdown, our kids weren't allowed to go to school. That didn't become the government's problem, although the government dictated it. It didn't become the school's problems. It became the pupils' and the parents' problems. The pupils were denied access to education, and the parents were expected to continue to pay the full school fees. And as I said to my one son, I understand that the schools have to continue to maintain the buildings, and the teachers must still get paid and so on. I really understand that. I'm not stupid, I said to him. But it can't be right. You can't convince me that it's right that the kids receive 20% of their education, of the full service, or 30%, or 19%, or 12.5%. But that the full school fee payment must be made. That can't be right. I'm not saying that teachers shouldn't eat. I'm not saying that they shouldn't receive a salary. I'm not saying that the schools can continue without income. But I am saying, how is it that it becomes only I'm talking to my son now, and my problem in this whole chain? We have the least to do with imposing this thing, but the most consequence. That can't be right. And I'll give you another classic example. Depending upon the source, the Muslim population of South Africa is somewhere between 1 and 2%. Let's call it 2% for the sake of this video, in order to do, as we always do, give our opponents the reasonable benefit of the doubt. But almost all meat, butter, and other dairy products, and so on and so forth, are certified halal. Now, you may or may not know what goes into halal certification. Halal certification requires, in the case of meat, as our example for today, that the entire facility should be inspected by the Muslim authorities, that the entire production process should be supervised by a full-time Muslim delegate of the authorities, let's call it, and that all of the meat should be slaughtered in a halal manner. That is to say that the animals can't be fully stunned. They must be conscious of what is happening to them when their throats are slit. And it must be performed by Muslims. Now, you can imagine that the cost of this is fairly significant. I've twice met abattoir owners and asked them about it. One in Botswana, and one in, what's this town? Vegelaar, where the enormous Battle of Vegelaar, in my opinion, the greatest of all the Boer battles. Where did it happen? It happened on the Bushmans River outside Escourt, where Wagondrift Dam is now, Wagendrift Dam. Escourt, abattoir owner in Escourt. I asked them about the costs, just in conversation when I was doing business with them over time. Various subjects come up, obviously. And they said to me that the costs are enormous, but they can't afford not to undertake the costs because otherwise they can't sell their meat. Woolworths, Checkers, Cambridge Meat, Metro, Cash and Carry, Macro, whoever, won't buy meat from them. Now, if you listen carefully, you would have heard me say that they bear the costs, not the Muslim community. Oh no, not the people who want halal meat. And so the abattoir spreads those costs out over all of the meat, meaning that 98% of the consumers, those consumers who don't want halal certified meat, oh, by the way, when they cut the animal's throat, they have to say a prayer over it, devoting the meat to Allah. They have to explicitly devote the meat. There's a word for it, I can't think of it, to this false god. That can't be right. It can't be right that 98% of the people pay for the privilege that 2% of the people desire. A privilege which, in most cases, the other 98% of the people specifically do not want. They specifically do not want their meat to be devoted to Allah, to be halal. So you have to pay for something you specifically don't want, so that the people who do want it don't have to pay for it. That can't be right. I know I'm getting very worked up and hot under the collar, and we spoke about this some time ago. Somebody complained, or a couple of people, a few people complained over time, I think. And I said to somebody, yes, but for many years I was cool, calm, and collected. And I got worked up in one particular interview, and I got a barrage of WhatsApps and emails and private conversations saying, please, continue to show that passion. And really all I'm doing in getting worked up is expressing what I feel inside. It frustrates me no end. I can't get over these idiosyncrasies, more than idiosyncrasies, these crazinesses in our modern society. The kids can't go to school, so the kids get denied their schooling, and the parents are expected to pay effectively 5 times as much pro rata for what they're getting. It doesn't make, and the same with the halal thing, to illustrate the principle. There are many other examples that illustrate this principle. Anyway, I've ridden my horse long enough for today. Thank you for your patience in listening. Saidlanders, we wish you nothing but the very best for the forthcoming period. We believe that we will begin to see now, from late July, it's now just gone mid-August. Today is Tuesday, the 18th of August. From the end of July, call it 4 weeks ago, 3 and some change weeks ago, through August, September, October, and November, we will begin to see the ramifications of, the consequences of, the full extent of the consequences of the lockdown of the past 5 months. Now it's really going to bite. Whether they lift it to level 2 or drop it, if you prefer, to level 2 as started today. Today is day 1 of level 2 lockdown. Or whether they take it to level 1, or whether they lift the lockdown entirely. No matter what they do, this is the period in which the full consequences of the restraint or constraint of our economy will be manifest. So we wish you nothing but the very best. Take good care of yourselves. May the Lord, our Creator, the one true and living God, bless and keep you and yours in the days, weeks, and difficult months that lie ahead of us. Bye bye.